There's a certain quiet power and persistence that the world too often overlooks. We live in an era where visibility has become synonymous with value, where the loudest voices in the room are given the most attention. Social media, news outlets, and even day-to-day conversations are filled with people showing off their achievements, highlighting their successes in a way that demands applause, recognition, and validation. Yet history has repeatedly shown that the most profound and lasting success does not require a crowd. The truth is that the loudest ones in the room often have the least to say. They rely on noise to distract others from the absence of depth. The person who is truly successful, the one who makes lasting contributions to the world, doesn't need to shout their achievements from the rooftops. They understand the importance of silence, of inner focus, and of the quiet work that goes into creating something meaningful. In the great stories of human achievement, the people who left the most significant legacies were not those who sought fame or recognition. They were individuals who dedicated themselves to their craft, honing their skills and pursuing their passion with an unwavering commitment to excellence. They didn't need the applause of the masses. In fact, most of them would have preferred to remain in the shadows, quietly shaping the world in ways that would forever echo through time. It's essential to understand that success is a slow burn, not an overnight firework. The instant gratification that we often see in the media is a myth, a false narrative. True success requires patience, discipline, and an ability to keep moving forward even when no one is watching. It's the ability to focus on your work day after day without expecting or seeking external validation. It's the courage to remain steady in the face of adversity, knowing that every quiet step forward is bringing you closer to your goal. One of the most powerful things you can do for yourself is to embrace silence. In a world that's constantly demanding your attention, silence is a rare and precious commodity. It's in the stillness that you'll find the space to reflect, to focus, and to truly understand the work that needs to be done. In silence, you can strip away the distractions and tap into your deepest potential. There's no need to explain yourself, to seek approval, or to tell anyone what you're doing. The work itself speaks for you. We often hear people say, work hard and the rewards will come. But the truth is that hard work on its own is not enough. You must work with purpose, with focus, and above all, with a quiet determination that cannot be swayed by the opinions of others. It's not about impressing the crowd or showing off your accomplishments. It's about doing the work for its own sake, for the satisfaction that comes from knowing that you've given everything to something that matters. This is where the real power of persistence lies, the ability to keep moving forward when the world is distracted by the noise around you is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. It's easy to get caught up in the frenzy of wanting others to notice you, to validate your efforts. But the truth is that success is a solitary pursuit. It requires an inward focus, a commitment to your own journey, and a deep understanding that the rewards will come, not because of the crowd's approval, but because of the work you've put in. The most profound achievements often happen in the absence of attention. Think about the great innovators, thinkers, and creators of the past. They weren't concerned with the recognition they would receive. They were focused on their craft, on solving problems, on making the world a better place in whatever way they could. The work itself was the reward, and the success came as a natural byproduct of their commitment. The power of persistence lies in its quiet, steady nature. It doesn't need to be announced to the world. In fact, the more you talk about your plans, the more you dilute the energy required to actually do the work. Words are easy, actions are hard. This is why silence is such a powerful tool. When you silence the external noise, you create space for your own voice to be heard. But this voice isn't loud or brash. It's the voice of quiet determination, of persistence, and of steady, consistent effort. Success doesn't need a crowd because true success is not measured by how many people cheer for you or how many accolades you receive. It's measured by the impact you have, by the way you've lived your life, and by the work you've done. When you focus on doing the work, the rest falls into place. People will notice, but their validation is no longer the driving force behind your actions. You're no longer doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself and for the greater purpose that fuels your passion. So embrace the silence. Let it be a reminder that success doesn't need to be broadcasted. It doesn't need a stage or an audience. The work, when done with integrity and purpose, will speak for itself. The quiet persistence that you cultivate today will be the foundation of the success you enjoy tomorrow. And remember, the world may not always recognize you immediately. It may not always see the countless hours of work, the sacrifices you've made, or the moments of doubt you've overcome. But that's okay. Success, in its truest form, doesn't need recognition. It needs only the courage to continue, to persist in silence, and to trust that the results will come in their own time. In the end, your success will not be defined by the number of people who saw you rise. It will be defined by the strength it took to rise in the first place, in the moments when no one was watching, and when the only person who mattered was you. In a world where everyone is screaming to be heard, there is an extraordinary power in quiet execution. We live in an age where attention is a commodity, where people believe that success is achieved by making the most noise, by making sure everyone knows what they are doing and constantly proving their worth. We've all seen the countless posts, the endless updates, the status reports, the personal branding that floods our feeds, and it often feels like the world has convinced us that the louder we shout, the more we are worth. But what if I told you that the greatest success is not born from the noise, but from the silent, unrelenting execution of your vision? What if I told you that the true power lies in doing the work quietly and consistently, without the need for applause or validation? You see, there is an almost mythical strength in silence. Silence not as a form of inaction, but as a conscious decision to focus, to execute, and to let the results speak for themselves. It's the art of discipline, of showing up every day, doing the hard work that no one sees, and trusting that your actions will eventually bear fruit. The great achievers in history were never those who sought to impress others. They were the ones who poured everything into their work, understanding that the process, the grind, was where the real magic happened. Success is not about flashing lights and loud applause. It's about quiet, focused effort that builds day by day, brick by brick. We are often taught to chase after the spotlight, to show the world what we are capable of, to tell everyone about our progress. But true progress doesn't need to be broadcasted. It doesn't need to be announced on every platform or discussed at every social gathering. True progress happens in the shadows, in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when no one is patting you on the back or congratulating you for your achievements. It's in those moments that your character is forged, your skills are sharpened, and your success is built. And the best part, when you finally emerge from the silence, when the work is done, the world will recognize it for what it is. It won't need to be explained. It will speak for itself. There's an inherent wisdom in focusing on your own path without looking to the left or right to see what others are doing. It's easy to get caught up in the noise, to become distracted by the opinions and judgments of others, to compare your journey to someone else's. But the truth is that everyone has their own rhythm, their own pace, and their own path to walk. When you focus on your own work, when you execute with discipline and integrity, you begin to realize that the only person you need to impress is yourself. The moment you stop trying to seek approval from the crowd, the moment you stop measuring your worth by the applause or lack thereof, is the moment you begin to take control of your own destiny. The loudest voices often have the least substance. It's easy to talk about what you're going to do, to make promises, to lay out grand plans, but the true measure of success is not in the words we speak, it's in the actions we take. We live in an age of instant gratification, where everyone wants immediate results. Social media has created a culture where we expect things to happen quickly, where patience and persistence are often seen as outdated virtues. But the reality is that the most remarkable accomplishments take time. They require years of work, sacrifice, and quiet focus. They require the ability to put your head down, do the work, and trust that the results will come, even if no one else notices along the way. The power of quiet execution lies in the simple truth that action speaks louder than words. Talk is cheap, plans are easy to make, but doing the work day in and day out, even when it's hard, even when it seems like no one cares, that's where the magic happens. It's the ability to stay committed to the process, to keep moving forward when the results aren't immediately visible. It's the strength to push through the inevitable moments of doubt and failure, knowing that each step, no matter how small, is one step closer to your goal. There's a beautiful paradox in this idea. The more you focus on doing the work, the less you need to worry about the outcome. The more you focus on mastering your craft, the less you need to look for validation. The less you care about the opinions of others, the more you free yourself to truly create something meaningful. When you stop seeking external recognition, you open the door to real achievement. The work becomes its own reward. The effort becomes its own satisfaction. And when you finally reach your destination, the world will take notice, not because you shouted your way there, but because your results have spoken for themselves. The quiet execution of your vision is also a testament to your character. It's the ability to be true to yourself, to stay the course even when it feels like the world is moving in a different direction. It's about understanding that the work you're doing is not just for today, but for tomorrow and the tomorrows after that. It's about realizing that what you create in the silence will stand the test of time, while the fleeting moments of fame and recognition will fade. Success that is born from quiet execution is not fragile. It's built on a solid foundation of discipline, patience, and perseverance. It is something that endures because it was created with integrity and purpose. In a world that demands instant gratification, we must remember that the most valuable achievements take time. They take work. They take an unwavering commitment to the process. There are no shortcuts to greatness, no easy paths to success. But if you're willing to put in the quiet, relentless effort, if you're willing to focus on the task at hand and let the results speak for themselves, then you will find a success that is deeper, more meaningful, and more enduring than anything that can be achieved through the noise of the crowd. So let go of the need for validation, stop chasing after the spotlight, focus on the work, and trust that your actions will lead you to where you need to be. Success is not about making noise. It's about executing in silence with passion, discipline, and unwavering belief that the work, in the end, will speak louder than anything you could say.